We're going to take a look at a Bard build for Hardcore League DDO. The new season starts in December. We're putting all of our points into Fade Arc Illusionist to get our color spray. The rest of the points into War Chanter. We eventually will go up Storm Singer. I'll have this build posted for you guys so you can see all the details. We eventually want to get fast movement, so that would be what we would push next. The human tree is good. You can go in and get Don't Count Me Out. We don't really need to put any more in Fade Arc Illusionist yet. And this particular Storm Singer tree gets really strong, so we eventually want to go up and get this Storm Singer inspiration. We would want to, if this were really hardcore league, get some of these numbers up a little higher. At level 8, we'd want to get 100% fortification. 46 armor class is pretty good. Same armor set that I've been using for all the hardcore build. Battleborn Medallion is our trinket. We're wearing the Leaf Mail. I have 7-piece Feywild set going. We have a Cloak of Winter. We have the Black Dragon Scale Tacit Belt. We have our Thorn Boots. We have the Gloves of Tranquility, which are great, really great item to go farm for if you're going to play on the hardcore because of the blurry and the regenerate. Green Dragon Scale Bracers, arguably the best caster bracers. We have Goggles of Unbroken Sight, Borderlands item, really good, yellow slot. And then our weapons, we're using a Queen Scepter and a Hex Breaker, but we will be using our Conjured Shadow Blade. Wearing a Crown of Snow. You could wear the Crown of Butterflies since you're doing melee. Necklace of Bottled Sunlight, really great item for this build. Nocturne Ring, one of the best rings that you can get. Obviously, True Seeing at level 5. Insightful Fortification, great. Command gives you a boost to things like UMD or any allure skill, so that's great. And then we're also wearing the Ring of Spring Storm since we're doing Sonic and Magnetism. We're also doing cold damage, but our spells are Sonic. And once we get into Storm Singer, we start to do Lightning Strikes. So it's a good ring. So we are in the Feywild, and they announced that it's going to be a short season, a 60-day season. I have a feeling that they are going to make it a 2-level split, even though the original 3rd season was a 4-level split. So we are going to do a level 5 quest on Elite. At level 7, Wake Me Up Inside. This is a 2-level split. We are level 7. That means that we're entering this quest as if we were on Hardcore League with a 2-level split. 2-level split is a lot harder for a couple of reasons on the Hardcore League. It's not so much the difficulty of the quest itself. It more comes down to the LFM because the 2-level, you only have 2 levels to play around with to find people to quest with you as opposed to 4-level, which allows a lot more people to join your group. So overall, I'm a fan of the 4-level split, not for the difficulty issue, but because it's really a lot easier to get a group when it's a 4-level split. But I wanted to show you guys this build as a split that's, more in line with what they'll probably actually do for Hardcore League. So you can see our color spray hits. We have another CC in the form of our Sound Burst. Most dangerous mobs are these here, and because they're the spellcasters. You can see the damage isn't the best, but I do have a CC in the Frozen Fury where I just have to basically activate this and I can freeze whatever I'm attacking solid for a certain amount of time. We also get a speed boost. The Sound Burst and the Color Spray I have quickened.
You approach a shadowy form that appears to be Lord Arden, reading a note with a worried expression on his face. The figure doesn't notice your presence.
We can do the same strategy we've been doing, basically. We Color Spray, we Sound Burst, and then anything that we need to, like if we come across a champion, I can hit it with Frozen Fury. Really fun. Bards are great on Hardcore League. Everybody loves having a bard in the group. They are survivable. They are full of utility. And you can, if you want, keep yourself spec'd in the build that I'm posting. But also, if you wanted to do endgame Reaper, you could also respec yourself into a bard bot, like a buff bot, and basically buff people who are doing Reaper questing. You know, you could go into Spellsinger, and that would be a viable way to play if you found a good group. But you can see, even with the 2-level split, the CC is good, the damage is okay. It's not the greatest, but it's okay. You know, and that's all we need, because you're probably not going to be soloing on Hardcore. You're probably going to be running with a group or a pug, so you will bring a lot with you. You can throw out bard buffs, because we are not in Spellsinger, and this is what I'm saying. You know, you could always respec Spellsinger later, but because we're in War Chanter, all of the buffs that we give out, they're just an aura around us. So anybody standing near us would get that Song of Heroism. You don't have to actually apply it to them. The one inspiration buff that you can apply is per person, and that would boost their skills unless you increased the buff on. There are ways later on to increase the bonus of that, but for now, if you join a group, you could individually buff their skills. But just being next to you is going to give them a buff, so everyone will appreciate that. And you can see, too, that even though I have everything quickened, with the 7-piece Feywild set, mana management is pretty decent. We do have a shrine. We actually have a shrine back there. We have a shrine at the beginning. We have a shrine over here near the bears, so there's plenty of shrines. We could really be much more aggressive with our mana if we wanted to be, but, you know, I'm just going to play this as I normally would play it and do the rotation that I've showed you guys in the other videos. But this is definitely a solid choice if you're playing on Hardcore League. Really, the Bard. I'll tell you the reason why I like the Storm Bard better than the regular Bard, unless you were going to do a character that was swashbuckling. I really like it because it grants you, when you take Stormsinger, it grants you a feat for free. And the feat is called Magical Training. The other Bard, where you take Swashbuckler, you actually have to pick this up if you want to use the Phase Sword, because you cannot get into the Fade Arc Illusionist tree unless you have this Magical Training. Well, Stormsinger grants you Magical Training for free. So that's one of the other reasons to use this. You can see the other feats we have: Empower, Maximize, Quicken, and then we are single weapon fighting. So these bears,
inside the magically sealed gazebo ahead, floats the frosted city.
Going to try to CC them. And then I'll try to lock this guy in ice. He saved, but I will cast my sound burst again. Do it again. Okay, there we go. I got them all. Okay, great. And I'm basically just wand healing myself. Jump casting a wand. I also have potions. And I also took, I'll show you my spells. You know, I also took, the first spell I took was Cure Light Wounds. Sonic Blast is great for breaking boxes. Merfolks is really helpful for swim. Gives you a bonus to swim. You always want to take Focusing Chant because it is a circumstance bonus that stacks with everything. Blur is extremely useful to have to cast on yourself or friends if you don't have an item. Invisibility is extraordinarily useful. And it looks like I don't have spell reagents, so we're going to have to try to make do without them. Rage is great for Hardcore League because it gives you more hit points. Soundburst is one of our CCs. Good Hope is essential to take, and then we take Displacement just to help our survivability. It looks like prior to starting this quest, I forgot to get reagents to cast these spells. So that's something that you want to make sure on Hardcore League that you check before you quest. So I've already committed one of like my Hardcore League no-nos of starting a quest without being ready. But this is just a test, so we'll see what we can do. We'll try to be as creative as we can. And will we get through? Well, I'll show you exactly what I do. So now I'm invisible, and what I'm going to do is sneak. And I'm going to sneak from this tree to that tree. And by doing that, you can see the groups of monsters. I need to stay away from these monster groups. So basically, I stay away from that one by going to this tree to my left, and then I just walk to this other tree over here. Now, that eye that I can see next to my shoulder, that means that a monster can see me. So I need to move until that little eye goes away. That means that whatever thought that he saw me, he lost sight of me. Because if that eye stays for too long, the monster will actually come looking for you. And then they can find you. See, I got another eye there. Something caught sight of me, but I moved and I lost the eye. So you just have to basically keep doing that until you get over here to this hedge and then go inside. And this will actually start a boss fight. A door will go up. We'll be safe from all of those. See, there's the door right there. And there are monsters that spawn in here that we need to deal with now. Before we do that, we can buff up a little bit, you know, since we're starting a fight, and
The pixie smirks.
we cannot kill the Sandman until his friends are dead. He saved versus my cold attack. And this other one over here, the Scholar, that is a caster. So we want to try to CC him. We got him with color spray. Basically lock him down before he can cast. And then we get that one. This last fight, this boss here, pretty straightforward. We can ignore the oozes around the outside. We need to avoid them. Cadence is going to throw down some stuff on the ground, cast spells on us. We need to basically DPS her as fast as we can. We need to stay out of those circles. And she will move around. You can if you want, you know, because we do pretty decent sonic damage. You could just spam her with sonic spells, which is what we'll do, just so you can see. And then we'll run up and we'll hit her with our snow. Do a little bit of damage. We'll back up and hit her with another sound burst, and she's dead. So now we have to do the little riddle to wake up the prince.
In exchange,
Lord Arden.
Lord Arden's true name. You lay out the ingredients,
Which we play the lute,
and repeat the steps to reverse the curse. First, play the lute. Then, grind up the flower's roots. Last, burn the roots along with Lord Arden.
then we crush the flower.
You play a brief melody on Hirsum's lute. You mash the flower's roots,
And then we speak the name. That will wake him up.
You set a small blaze, then drop the crushed roots and Lord Arden's true name in
This chest drops a couple of good
as
items.
the smoke rises.
Got the leaf mail.
Lord Arden's
You can
eyes
see that it's, if you run with people, not that bad
Arden
gearing
thanks
up
you for
for this
awakening him from this
content,
curse.
and I
He
highly
urges
recommend
you
it
to
if you're
speak
playing
with
on the
him back
Hardcore
at
League.
Wynwood Hall in the
So
Wizard
this
World.
was inspired by Volo from Baldur's Gate 3. Very funny character, and I highly recommend you give that game a look if you haven't played it. It's probably going to get Game of the Year this year, 2023. I look forward to seeing all you guys in Hardcore League, and I will catch y'all later.